Not all sacred texts made it into the Bible. Over centuries, councils, emperors, and theologians shaped what we now call Scripture. Some texts were chosen. Others, just as old, just as influential, were locked away. They were removed not because they were relevant, but because they were powerful. Too powerful. Dangerous to doctrine. Threatening to the narrative. But hidden doesn't mean gone. In this video, we explore the stories behind the Bible's missing books. What they said, who banned them, and why. Even today, their words still echo. If you're drawn to forbidden scripture, ancient councils, and the mysteries behind the holy canon, like the video, subscribe, and tell us what hidden truth you want uncovered next. Some books were once considered scripture, until someone decided they weren't. Among the earliest Christian writings are texts like the Gospel of Thomas, Gospel of Mary, and Gospel of Philip. They weren't fringe. They were read, copied, and debated alongside what we now call the New Testament. But they tell a different story. In the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus doesn't perform miracles. He speaks riddles. Salvation isn't through faith in his death, but through understanding his secret words. He says, "Split a piece of wood. I am there. No crucifixion. No resurrection. Just mystery." The Gospel of Mary presents Mary Magdalene not as a repentant prostitute, but as a disciple who truly understood Christ's teachings. She receives visions. The male apostles doubt her. She teaches anyway. The Gospel of Philip goes further. It hints at Jesus and Mary shared an intimate bond. It speaks of sacred marriage, of the union of flesh and spirit, a Jesus who was fully human and not entirely celibate. These books weren't vague. They were radical, and that's why they were left out. They portrayed a Christianity without hierarchy, without fear, and without the need for control. And they were almost part of the Bible. In the Gospel of Peter, the resurrection doesn't happen quietly. It's not witnessed by women at dawn or whispered in fear. Instead, a giant Jesus walks out of the tomb, towering above the city walls. Behind him, the cross follows, and then the cross speaks. Yes, the cross itself utters words. It becomes a participant in the resurrection, a voice in the divine drama. For early Christians, this vision was too much, too mythical, too strange. It blurred the lines between symbolism and reality, between history and cosmic theater. The Jesus of Peter's gospel isn't just resurrected. He is transfigured into something vast and incomprehensible. Less man, more cosmic force. The church rejected this text. It was too uncontained, too unfamiliar, a Jesus too divine to be relatable. But that vision survived, hidden in the desert for centuries. And it asked a question the canon avoided. What really walked out of that tomb, and who gave it a voice? In the Gospel of Mary, a text discovered in the late 19th century but long suppressed, Mary Magdalene isn't just a witness. She's a voice of insight, the one who truly understands Jesus' teachings. After Jesus departs, the disciples are confused, afraid. It's Mary who comforts them. Mary who reveals hidden words Jesus spoke only to her. Peter is outraged. Did he really speak with a woman in private, and not openly to us? He demands. Mary responds not with submission, but with calm clarity, and others defend her. This gospel paints a radically different picture, a church where the feminine holds authority, where intuition, not hierarchy, reveals truth, and where Mary, not Peter, may have been the rightful foundation of spiritual succession. That vision threatened a church built on patriarchy. And so, the text was buried, forgotten, marginalized, but it survives, and it whispers. What if the first church was meant to be led by her? Among the most radical of the forbidden texts are those of the Gnostics, writers who dare to say, the God of the Old Testament was not the true God. To them, the world was not created by a perfect being. It was made by a lesser power, a blind, arrogant entity called the Demiurge. He thought he was supreme, but above him existed a hidden, unknowable God. This Demiurge, sometimes identified with the wrathful Yahweh, was responsible for a flawed world, a world of pain, violence, and death. And humanity, they said, was not made to serve him, but to escape him. The true spark of divinity lived in the soul, not in temples or laws. Salvation came not through obedience, but through awakening. This view turned everything upside down. What if the God who demanded sacrifice was impostor? What if Eden was not paradise, but a trap? The early church declared these writings heretical, dangerous, evil. But the Gnostics saw themselves not as rebels, but as the awakened. And their message was clear. The God you've been told to fear may not be the God who saves you. In the Gospel of Thomas, a text buried for over 1,000 years, there are no miracles, no virgin birth, no crucifixion, just sayings, secrets, parables that cut deeper than the ones we know. Jesus doesn't promise salvation. He tells his disciples to look within. The kingdom is inside of you, he says, and it is outside of you. He speaks of light, of unity, of knowing oneself. There is no emphasis on blood or sacrifice, only awakening. Even more curious, Thomas is not just a student. In some interpretations, he's a twin, not biologically, but spiritually, a mirror of the divine potential in every soul. This Jesus doesn't demand worship. He invites transformation. No wonder this gospel was left out. It threatened authority. It removed the need for priesthood, ritual, and even churches. It suggested something the institutional faith couldn't allow, that the divine may already live in you, and you don't need permission to find it. The Book of Enoch was once known, then banned, quoted in early Christian texts, cherished by mystics, and eventually erased from the canon. Why? Because it tells a story too strange, too vast, and too dangerous. In Enoch's vision, angels descend to earth. They take wives. They teach forbidden arts, metalworking, sorcery, astrology. Their offspring are giants. The Nephilim, abominations that devour the land. Heaven is enraged. The angels are imprisoned. The earth is cleansed by flood. But that's only the beginning. Enoch describes multiple heavens, realms of light, judgment, and flame. He walks through them guided by divine beings. He sees watchers, stars that fall, wheels of fire, and a throne so bright no eye can look upon it. This isn't theology. It's cosmic horror. And yet, it's quoted in the New Testament, echoed in Revelation, revered by early sects. Then it vanished because it dared to say, the universe is bigger than we know, and the war in heaven never ended.